3 years ago, I was in a private dinner with some people who are very high-level, well-known political people, activists and politicians. And I remember somebody was mentioning that they could not open bank account in Europe because they are considered a politically exposed person. Even though they have never held public office, is because of the level of social media and media publicity, etc. Because of this, banks consider this person a high-risk person. So banks consider them too controversial. So banks decided to not open a bank account for this person. To me, that was shocking because I never heard anybody mentioning this problem directly. I knew that it could happen to maybe an immigrant or somebody without documentation. And in that dinner, like 4 people raised their hands and they said, this is also happening to them. I was shocked. I remember then trying to research about it and there was no information. There's no research. There's no understanding about this and there's no policy solution. If your bank closes your account, there is no way that you can restore it. There is no place that you can go to ask for a bank account. So banks are blocked from giving you explanation. So the regulation tells banks to not disclose why they close bank accounts. So the victims don't have a way to know why or to find a solution. I started doing more digging, and many people in many industries are facing this problem. And my theory is that if we don't make a reform now, in 10 years, nobody working in politics broadly will have a bank account. Nobody working in non-profit sector or humanitarian sector will have a bank account. Nobody working on military or defense or energy issues will have a bank account, because all these groups will be under so much compliance pressure by especially anti-money laundering regulations and financial compliance in general, that they will be too costly for banks to have as clients. But if we live in a world in which people don't have access to financial services, what kind of free market do we live in? What kind of democracy do we live in? On this, people have no idea. Why? Because it's so secretive problem. Institutions are not allowed to speak about this because regulation doesn't allow them to do. The victims cannot speak about this because it's a huge shame for them. If you have suppliers, they will freak out. If you have a board of directors, they will freak out. If you are a nonprofit and you have donors, they will not want to give you more donations. If you are a normal person, if you are a politician, everybody will think that you are corrupt, and that's why you lost your bank account. So there is a huge chilling effect to people. So that's why nobody talks about it. But I have been told by former prime ministers, I have been told by former high-level diplomats, owners of big companies, owners of extremely big foundations, they all have this problem. And it's not easy to fix. They go to lawyers, and lawyers have no idea how to actually navigate this problem, because it's so niche and specific that if you go to a regular lawyer, even a financial one, they will not understand what's going on. Because most of this information we are just producing now and trying to put an end to this compliance issue that is being created. And I think there are ways of doing it in a very sensible way.